Following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers. This is the Tiafangi coming to hopefully be a successful second part review of the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime action figure. I'm mixing things up a little bit. Instead of using the camera I used in part 1 of my review of Gamer Edition Optimus Prime, I'm using another camera. It's the one that's built into my laptop computer. Apparently the camera that I've been using, that I used to record part 1, apparently it has a lot of static when the video finishes recording. Oddly enough, there's no static whatsoever when I'm actually recording the video, so I don't know if it's the tripod, if it's the web camera that I got, or if it's my laptop computer itself. So I decided to mix things up by using the actual camera built into my laptop computer, just to see if maybe it also improves the sound quality. I know visually it's gonna reduce the quality of the picture, but with everyone complaining about how bad the sound is, I just want to see which camera you guys like more. Some have suggested that I invest in microphones to go with my webcam. I may do that for my birthday, which is 3 weeks from now. But until then, here is Optimus Prime out of the box. Here he is in his robot mode. It's very nice, very screen accurate to his appearance in the War for Cybertron video game. I just loved all the sculpt detailing on here. That head sculpt, it's definitely Optimus Prime. One minor gripe that I have is I just wish for once that we would get an Optimus Prime action figure from Hasbro that has yellow eyes instead of blue ones, because when Optimus Prime has blue eyes, it makes his eyes blend in with his helmet. And there are some Optimus Prime action figures that have been released in the past where the blue eyes make it look like he doesn't have any eyes at all. So I just wish for once we get a yellow-eyed Optimus Prime action figure. Here he is holding one of two weapons that he comes with, which is an Energon axe. I believe he did have this axe in the game, and the axe has a gimmick where the larger blade opens up. You can flip it around to the back, and now Optimus Prime has a double-bladed axe where the two blades are the same size, so that's really cool looking there. For articulation, he does have a swivel joint in his waist, which on my copy it's really loose. He has a ball joint in his neck, so his head can rotate left and right 360 degrees. He can look up and down ever so slightly. Arms have a swivel joint at the shoulder, so they can go forwards and backwards at the shoulder, 360 degrees. Swivel joint in the bicep, hinge joint in the elbow. There is wrist swivels with his hands at the end of his arms, but because there isn't much clearance space, the swivel joints in the wrists are rendered a kind of unnecessary. They're unable to reach the full articulation. Moving the arm up out of the way, the legs can go forward this far. They can go backwards only this far due to how the hip joint itself ends up hitting the back of the swivel joint in Optimus Prime's waist, so that's okay, so there isn't much backward movement at the legs, at least at the hip there's not. The knee, it's on a hinge joint, so the leg can go back, bend that far back at the knee. And of course, Optimus Prime does have ankle rockers, but they feel like ratcheted joints since they're clicking just one spot rather than swiveling fresh out of the box. And yes, I'm really wholeheartedly enjoying how this Optimus Prime action figure came out. One gimmick that the figure possesses is that you can actually open up Optimus Prime's robot mode chest, and he has the Matrix of Leadership there inside of him. It is removable, but because it's very tiny, it can be easy to get lost, so I recommend you be careful if you decide to take the Matrix of Leadership out and see what Optimus Prime's chest looks like without it. But that is a cool little gimmick, that this is a Matrix-wielding version of Optimus Prime. This is the most recent Voyager class Optimus Prime figure, I believe, that's been released, and despite having some flaws, it's due to the fact that this version of Optimus Prime, ever since the figure was released, I believe, last month, for the first time is when Gamer Edition Optimus Prime started to appear available for purchase. He's always been sold out. Yeah, overall, it's a pretty fantastic looking Optimus Prime action figure. Another weapon that he comes with is his more iconic Ion Blaster here. As you can see, there's some sculpting detailing reminiscent of the original Generation 1 Optimus Prime action figure, but this is the main gripe I have with the Gamer Edition Optimus Prime. To make him accurate to his appearance in the actual War for Cybertron video game that was released by High Moon Studios, the way you attach Optimus Prime's Ion Blaster, the way he wields it, is you actually pop off and detach Optimus Prime's right side arm, and you put the Ion Blaster in its place on the end of his lower arm. That is accurate to Optimus Prime's Ion Blaster in the War for Cybertron video game. Rather than the laser guns just being pistols that Optimus Prime and the Autobots would pick up and wield in their hands, instead their arms would transform into the weapons that they had built into them. And to replicate that ability from the video game, these new Studio Series Gamer Edition figures have the gimmick where one of the arms can be removed and the weapon can be attached in its place. So the reason why I hate this gimmick is because the arm is basically an accessory piece, and so chances are 15-20 years from now on eBay there's going to be copies of Gamer Edition Optimus Prime with all of his accessory pieces gone, including his arms, and so don't be too surprised if someday you see a listing of Gamer Edition Optimus Prime that is one armed and the other arm is missing. When Optimus Prime does have his blaster transformed into his arm, the only way to store the extra arm that you pop off is to plug it here on Optimus Prime's buttocks in robot mode and just have it sitting there on the back. And yeah, that is just unsightly. I cannot unsee that now. So this gimmick of swapping the arm with the weapon, it's one that I think could have been not incorporated into the new figure and could have been overlooked by the designers at Hasbro and Takara Tomy, because as it is, the 5mm port that Optimus Prime has at the end of his elbow, a hole that port goes into is the only way to attach the Ion Blaster to Optimus Prime. He cannot actually hold it in his actual arm to wield the blaster. I've seen a couple of photos. There are some upgrade kits that have already come out where you plug a add-on piece into the 5mm port here on the back end, and then there's a 5mm peg underneath, so Optimus Prime can actually hold his Ion Blaster in his arm. So I may invest in that one of these days. And it's only the right side arm that detaches to attach the Ion Blaster to it. The other arm, the left side arm, it's sculpted so that it can't be removed. So all of the characters from the War for Cybertron video game, all the Transformers, are apparently right-handed since they deploy the weapons from their right arms. But yes, despite me not personally liking that gimmick of pop the arm off, pop the gun on, I still enjoy having this figure in my Transformers collection. So for some size comparisons, here is Gamer Edition Voyager class Optimus Prime with the Generations War for Cybertron Deluxe class Optimus Prime figure. Now, this is not the original War for Cybertron Deluxe Optimus Prime figure that was released in the Generations line back in 2010. This is the version that was sold in the Titans Return Special Edition 2-pack along with Orion packs. But it's I don't have the original version, so this was the closest comparison I could have to the original Deluxe class figure from 2010. And even though Transformers figures have been downsized in recent years, I enjoy comparing these two figures together because the new Gamer Edition Optimus Prime is a size larger than the Deluxe figure from 2010. And in most videos I've seen where people have done size comparisons of Transformers figures that were released at the beginning of the Generations line back in 2010 and 2011. Most of those figures from back then are larger than the ones that have been released in more recent years, so it is a nice breath of fresh air to see that there are some modern Voyager class figures that are still larger than some of the old school deluxe class Transformers. So that's pretty nice to see there. And because both these figures have a standard 5mm port or 5mm whole meter space in their fist hands, you can swap the weapons. You can have Gamer Edition Optimus Prime hold the ion blaster that the Generations Deluxe Class Wolver Cybertron Optimus Prime figure came with, and vice versa. You can also put the axe into the hand of the Generations Deluxe Class figure. So overall, I really enjoyed how this figure came with. The original Generations Deluxe Class Optimus Prime figure had a paint job that was nearly identical to the Gamer Edition figure, but you get the idea of what the 2010 Deluxe figure is like compared to this one. And for one last special size comparison, in the thumbnail of the video, I did because part 2 of this review is Optimus Prime. I am taking out of his box and taking a look at him in both his robot mode and vehicle mode for a size comparison with another Transformers figure. Here he is next to his rival Megatron. This is the deluxe class Generations figure that was released back in 2010. And because this figure is a Voyager class figure and this one's a deluxe, Optimus Prime is larger than Megatron. And for me personally, I've always liked the idea of Megatron being larger than Optimus Prime. But fortunately, the upcoming Gamer Edition Studio Series Megatron figure is a Voyager class figure just like this one. So once again, Megatron will be bulkier than Optimus Prime. I mean, here on the original Generations Deluxe figures, even though they were both sold as Deluxe class figures, Megatron is bigger and bulkier than Optimus Prime is, so I'm really excited for that. And so I'm hoping that the designers at Hasbro and Takara will do the same with the Studio Series Gamer Edition Megatron figure. Will be bulkier than Optimus Prime because, as I really enjoy the idea of Megatron being a larger transformer than Optimus Prime is. So. Overall, despite the arm gimmick not being the greatest, Optimus Prime is fairly accurate looking. The similarities and the differences between his Studio Series Voyager class and the Generations Deluxe class figure pretty much evened out. Parts that are the same and parts that are different are evenly matched. I'm finding difficulty describing the most appropriate vocabulary to compare these two figures because that's how much I love Optimus Prime. And in my opinion, whatever flaws this figure has, Hasbro and Takara Tomy nailed it out of the park. This is a fantastic Optimus Prime action figure to have. And so, without further delay, let's get Optimus Prime transformed into his vehicle mode, and we'll wrap up the review. Alright, so here is Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime transformed into his vehicle mode of a Cybertronian semi-truck. And technically, even though the War for Cybertron video game was released back in 2010, this wasn't the first time a Cybertronian vehicle mode was designed for Optimus Prime. I believe the first version was the version of Optimus Prime from the Transformers War Within comics, which was released by Dreamwave back in either 2003 or 2004, right before Dreamwave went bankrupt. But this is one of the more well-known Cybertronian vehicle mode versions of Optimus Prime, and I've always enjoyed this vehicle mode because it gives an idea of what a semi tractor truck would look like on planet Cybertron versus one on planet Earth. So it's really nice to see Optimus Prime. I am in his Cybertronian vehicle mode. There's no trailer sticking off the back of it. And I just love how the front wheels are larger than the ones on the back. And it gives Optimus Prime's vehicle mode alien look to it, especially with the way the front of the vehicle mode is streaked backwards. And then you've got the two windshield pieces right down here on the front, and it's basically a semi truck that looks like it's out of a science fictional TV show. So I just really love the design of that. All the wheels on Optimus Prime are clipped on; they aren't held by metal pins, so there's a risk that over time, if you roll the figure around too much, that it could wear the wheels out. And but I do enjoy how the vehicle mode came out entirely. The one gripe I have, which a lot of collectors have had, is that Optimus Prime's fists are sticking out of the back of it, but I don't find it as irritating as I've seen other collectors have because of what I just said a moment ago. This is Optimus Prime while he's still on planet Cybertron before he comes to planet Earth, and so, I personally, I'm not bothered by the fist sticking out of the back of the vehicle mode and forming Optimus Prime's back bumper as other collectors have been because Optimus Prime in the War for Cybertron video game, he's technically not supposed to be a robot in disguise as compared to when the Transformers arrive on planet Earth. And I can forgive the fist being on the back of the vehicle mode of Gamer Edition Optimus Prime because of another body part that I absolutely hate on the original deluxe figure. So, for a size comparison, once again, here is Gamer Edition Optimus Prime with the original deluxe class War for Cybertron Optimus Prime figure. This is the Titans Return Special Edition repaint. And the reason why I said that I'm not as bothered about the fist being on the back of the vehicle mode on the new Gamer Edition Voyager figure is because I hate where one of the robot mode parts ends up in alt mode on the original Generations Deluxe figure. On the original Generations Deluxe class War for Cybertron Optimus Prime figure, Optimus Prime's robot mode head ends up on the very bottom of the vehicle mode. You can even see the mouth plate there when I show you the underside of the vehicle mode from the side view. And and I've seen this on multiple copies of this figure, but if you roll the figure along on a surface, the silver paint on Optimus Prime's nose will rub off and scrape off. And so that's been a minor gripe I've had with this original deluxe class mold is the robot mode head ends up on the very bottom of the vehicle mode. Here on the new Gamer Edition Optimus Prime's robot mode head, it ends up right here on top of right under the inside of the roof of the vehicle mode. So yes, compared to the original deluxe figure having the robot mode head on the very bottom of the vehicle, I can forgive the new Gamer Edition Voyager class figure for having the fists sticking out of the back. Just like the new Gamer Edition, just like the original Generations Deluxe figure, Gamer Edition Optimus Prime, there isn't much clearance space underneath his vehicle mode using his box for a flat surface, so he does roll fairly nice on a cardboard surface, but again, there's only a hairline of clearance here, so Optimus Prime cannot go off-roading. He has to be on a solid flat surface. There's a surface, but at least it's not hairline clearance like the original Generations figure. So props to the designers at Hasbro and Takara Tomy for giving at least another 1/16 of an inch of clearance space for the underside of Gamer Edition Prime's vehicle mode. Now, for weapon storage on the instruction sheet, it shows you that you plug the axe on top of the ion blaster, and then these two rectangular angular pegs hanging off the bottom of the ion blaster. They line up with these two rectangular ports on what are the bottom of Optimus Prime's robot mode feet. They form the truck bed and in vehicle mode, and so for weapon storage, or it's similar to the original deluxe figure from 2010, and you just prop the weapons on top of the roof and call it a day. I've seen in some reviews where people have taken the axe apart, and some collectors have put the base of the axe handle, which is detachable. I forgot to show that off in robot mode, but to have Optimus Prime hold the axe halfway up the handle, you unplug the bottom half of the axe handle and slip it in Optimus Prime's hand, like so. I've seen a couple of reviews where people put the axe handle here and had it acting like an additional cannon for Optimus Prime's vehicle mode. Some have had it pointing backwards and make it look like it's another exhaust port. I saw one review where someone was contemplating about maybe possibly getting a second Gamer Edition Optimus Prime figure and having a second axe handle act as a additional pair of smokestacks for Optimus Prime's vehicle mode. It's all personal preference. I kind of wish they would have designed a way so that the weapons would at least plug into the robot mode hands on the back, so at least the hands wouldn't be as noticeable. But for me personally, I'm willing to overlook any flaws this figure has because I've always enjoyed the idea of maybe having a Voyager class sized action figure Optimus Prime from the War for Cybertron video games, because the only characters who got Voyager class figures from the Transformers video games, aims based on the High Moon Studios designs, were Soundwave, Grimlock, and Blaster, and Sound Blaster. So I've always wondered what Optimus Prime would look like in Voyager class size, and the new Gamer Edition figure did not disappoint me with my desire to see the Voyager class version of Optimus Prime in this. One thing I like about this figure is that the parts of the figure that are red paint, which are these parts right here, it almost perfectly matches with the parts of Optimus Prime that are done in red plastic. That's something that lately Hasbro and Takara have failed to do, is parts that are made out of paint that don't match up with the plastic, but it does line up properly here on the Gamer Edition Optimus Prime figure. On some angles, my camera is picking up the difference between the red paint and the red plastic bits, but when you stare at the figure with your own eyes and you have it in front of you, it's not as noticeable compared to how it appears on camera. And for one last vehicle mode size comparison, here is Gamer Edition Optimus Prime with the Generations Deluxe Class War for Cybertron version of Megatron from 2010. And again, Megatron is smaller because this is a deluxe with a Voyager class figure, but Gamer Edition Optimus Prime now has me super excited for the upcoming Gamer Edition Voyager class Megatron action figure. And I can't wait for that figure to be released as well. But just to give you guys an idea of what these two versions of Optimus Prime and Megatron look like, there's a size comparison there. So since I'm repeating myself and the video has gone on longer than I wanted it to answer the question at the end of the review, do I recommend you get the Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime action figure and add it to your Transformers collection? I absolutely do. This, in my opinion, is one of the must-have Optimus Prime action figures. I am glad that it is a mass retail released figure, although Gamer Edition Optimus Prime here in the United States, so far the only brick and mortar store he's shown up at has been GameStop. He was available for a while on Amazon, but he kept selling out because everybody's been wanting to buy up this new Optimus Prime action figure. And this, I believe, is the only one of only two Optimus Prime action figures that being released this year that's not tied into either the Transformers Earthspark cartoon show or with the Transformers Rise of the Beast film. The other Optimus Prime figure that's not tied to either of those pieces of Transformers media is the Legacy Evolution Commander Class Armada Optimus Prime figure. So it was a pleasant surprise for Transformers fans and collectors when it was announced that the characters based on the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron video games released by High Moon Studios were being released in the Studio Series line. I mentioned this in my Part 1 review when I looked at Gamer Edition Optimus Prime when he was still in his box, that the War for Cybertron video game, even when you know what you're doing, you know where to go, what moves to make, what power points to collect. And from the time the game starts to the time it ends, it takes about 5.5 hours to complete the Transformers War for Cybertron video game, so it actually is lengthy enough that it could qualify for a mini-series rather than just a films. But overall, I'm just super thrilled that this figure, while it is an entirely brand new design and does have all the modern articulation of a modern Voyager-class Transformers action figure, I just love that Gamer Edition Optimus Prime is an enlarged version of the deluxe class figure from released in the Generations line in 2010. And on that note, the original War for Cybertron deluxe class Optimus Prime action figure, it holds the title of being the first ever Transformers action figure to be released in the Generations line. So, I'm really excited to have this new figure in my Transformers collection. I just love the wheels, and I just love everything about this figure. Optimus Prime has always been my favorite character, and this new Gamer Edition figure did not disappoint. This has become my favorite, most recent Optimus Prime action figure to have, and I hope you guys will consider getting this figure and adding it to your Transformers collection as well. Thank you guys all so much. This has been the TFN Geek. This has been my second part review of Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Voyager Class Optimus Prime. I highly recommend you get this figure if you can. And I'm trying to see which of my two cameras is the better one to use. My webcam, which has improved visual quality but creates static when I record reviews, or if my built-in camera that's actually inside my laptop, is the sound quality better than the visual quality? Please let me know down in the comment section if you prefer improved sound over improved improved camera lens. And so thank you guys all so much, and until next time, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.